Have you ever watched a film that felt less like a story and more like a dream you can't quite shake off? A dream where you wake up remembering colors, faces, fragments of longing, but none of it fits into a neat explanation? That's what Fallen Angels feels like. It isn't just a movie about an assassin or a drifter selling ice cream. It's something harder to pin down. Wong Kar-wai doesn't film the world the way most directors do. He films it the way you remember it after a night alone, when you can't tell if you're drunk or just tired. When the streetlights blur into smears of neon and your thoughts echo louder than anything outside. Look at how the camera moves, never fully steady, never perfectly composed. It trails behind people like a lost friend. It leans too close. It stutters and shakes. It feels human because it is human, restless, curious, never in control. That's the point. In Wong Kar-wai's films, certainty doesn't exist. There's no final answer about who someone is or why they leave. And then there's the light. Hong Kong here is electric and bright, pulsing with colors that almost hurt your eyes. But behind the glow is a quiet emptiness, like everyone is trying to light up their own darkness for a little while. What makes Fallen Angels so affecting is that it doesn't try to resolve anything. It doesn't pretend loneliness has a simple cure. It understands that sometimes stories end mid-sentence, and you have to live with all the unfinished parts. If you look closer, the film is a meditation on how fragile identity really is. The assassin spends his life believing he's in control. He plans everything, who to kill, where, when. But the moment he decides he doesn't want to live by that plan anymore, his life unravels. It's like he was never a person so much as a routine. When that routine cracks, there's nothing left to protect him. His agent, the woman who cleans up after him and watches from a distance, has built her own private religion around the idea of closeness. She's obsessed with him, not because she knows him, but because wanting him gives her a reason to exist. When he leaves, she's stranded inside her own devotion. That's the risk of loving someone you never dare to touch. It stays pure, but it never saves you. Then there's the mute drifter breaking into shops at night. He can't speak, so he moves through life as a silent observer, present but unseen. His loneliness is the kind that doesn't have words. Sometimes he picks fights with strangers just to feel something. Sometimes he lies in bed, replaying old memories, wondering if the people he loved have already forgotten him. Maybe that's what it means to be a fallen angel, to be stuck between remembering and moving on. Wong Kar-wai doesn't offer a clean moral or comforting resolution. He shows people who are messy and unfinished, trying and failing, and leaves them there, unresolved, the way life leaves most of us. This is a film about being a lost soul. Each character drifts through fluorescent corridors and empty stairwells, carrying the same quiet question: what do I do with all this feeling if nobody is here to share it? Sometimes loneliness isn't loud. Sometimes it's just the ache of being unneeded. The illusion of purpose is everywhere. The assassin believes work gives him order, but that's only a story he tells himself to keep going. When he steps outside that story, there's no real self behind the mask, just a man who wants something softer but doesn't know how to ask for it. The drifter pretends breaking into shops is freedom, but he's circling the same emptiness. Even the agent clings to her rituals, touching his things, scrubbing the floors, hoping repetition can turn longing into connection. But none of them are any closer to belonging. Love here isn't triumphant. It's just another way of trying not to vanish. When the assassin finally allows himself to be touched, it's not some grand romance. It's a small, desperate act, an attempt to prove he still exists. And when the drifter lets a stranger ride behind him on his motorcycle, he's reaching for the same fragile reassurance that if someone is holding on to you, maybe you're not completely alone. Maybe that's the film's most honest idea. Sometimes all you can do is keep moving. Even if you're lost, even if nothing resolves, you keep going because the night ends eventually, and maybe in the morning, you'll feel a little less invisible. And maybe that's why Fallen Angels stays with people. Because in a world obsessed with tidy conclusions, it has the courage to say, sometimes you don't get one. Sometimes the best you can do is share a motorcycle ride with a stranger at dawn, rest your head on their back, and hope that for a little while, you'll feel less alone. That's what makes it so human, and that's what makes it unforgettable.